Have you ever hoverboarded and grappling hooked onto a giant mechanical dragonfly that's hurling fire at you, run on its back, destroying its weak points, while firefighting against its defenders? It's Rel, and let's dive into Echo Point Nova, Greylock Studio's high-mobility first-person exploration shooter. We select our difficulty and get a loading screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5? A little misleading, but it loads quickly after. The first thing I notice after loading in is that the sensitivity and movement is really fast. It's also hard to see while moving, and I know what's causing that. Motion blur. Honestly, I don't understand why motion blur is a thing in so many games. If you like motion blur, I'm legitimately curious. Why? It's always the first option I turn off. Menuing is easy enough that turning it off is nothing more than a minor speed bump. We grab our first weapon and have to do a bit of jumping to move on. It takes a minute to adjust to how far and how fast you jump, but once you get it down, it's really fun. We pick up double jump boots, adding to our mobility, and some cosmetic collectibles. I start parkouring around the map and find some agility orbs, fragments that will eventually boost your movement even more. I love how it rewards you for exploring even this early. Then we see the gorgeous game world, a series of islands floating above the clouds. We gather some more orbs and find our second weapon, which we promptly use to take out an enemy shooting at us. The guns have a decent accuracy, but it greatly increases the closer you are, encouraging aggressive combat. This goes really well with the high impact firing they have. I overshoot one of my jumps and fall off the map. As soon as I'm away from the island, I'm given a prompt to press tab to respawn. I love when games make it super easy to get back into it after dying. More encouraging of aggressive playstyle. We get the sledgehammer, which can destroy certain terrain, opening up even more freedom for the player. I mean, you can jump, break the wall, and land in the hole you just broke. Fantastic. I try to jump this gap, but it doesn't seem possible. So I turn back and find a hoverboard, because why not give us even more mobility? The hoverboard resets our jump count when next to a wall, allowing for some really crazy movement. I love how after gaining a new ability, the game provides an obstacle that is best solved for that ability. Organic tutorials really help me learn controls. We get into a firefight, and I get hit for the first time. We start out with 5 hearts, so we can get hit 5 times. However, enemies drop hearts to refill our health, further encouraging us to be near the enemies as we kill them. As we keep exploring, we find a crate, with a grappling hook in it. The mobility just doesn't stop. The floating islands and sky highways provide an amazing place to utilize all of it. I ended up using every mobility option they gave me pretty regularly. We find the sniper rifle, and it highlights the power of moving close to your enemies. I end up getting hit a few times, and I love how damage is indicated by the cracking of your visor. Since I'm far away from the opposing snipers as I take them out, I don't refill my health. Next, we find the game's primary objectives, skirmishes. There are little panels you start a battle at. It will spawn waves of enemies in the area you are in, and your job is to eliminate them. These areas are multi-leveled, keeping your mobility relevant. I discovered the hammer is not only good at destroying terrain, but also enemies. It also puts you close enough that you automatically pick up any hearts they drop. Even more reason to play aggressively. Clearing skirmishes gives you additional hearts and abilities. This one lets us make a bounce pad. Even more mobility. I'm in. We continue to explore, finding more collectibles and weapons. My favorite being the grenade launcher, which just feels so good to fire. And just look at these highways, the perfect place for all our mobility. I slip and push the mobility to its limits, somehow recovering from it. And what's that in the distance? Some sort of giant monster? I really hope we can go over there. As we make our way towards it, a force field blocks us. As we open it, the fight starts. The dragonfly rains fire from above as we speed through trenches. I try to fire on it from below to no effect, so I ramp up a wall, try and get a better shot. Turns out, what we have to do is board the massive enemy and destroy its weak points. All while it continues to fire on us and smaller enemies try to stop us. Absolutely epic feeling fight. The game has plenty to explore, even in just the demo. But we've gone over the gist of it. Use your extreme mobility to explore a world crafted explicitly for that mobility. Find collectibles and fight in fast-paced battles. My only real complaint for the game is the lack of story. And considering the focus, it's not even that big a complaint. The game was an absolute blast to play, and I can't wait to play more. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night.